And like I said, there's so much beauty that there are times when I see things and I'm like, fuck, capture that, get that in a bottle, share that. We all see this as just something standard. You know, Britain's Got Talent, X Factor has created it, so if a person's good at singing, that's just normal. You have to be amazing, you've got to have a personality, you've got to be able to write music, you've got to have an interesting background, a story for you to be good enough. Yeah, I think someone who can hit notes with just the vocal cords that they have. So people who have picked up an instrument and have learned how to play it, and just this little thing creates so much joy, so much beauty. And we're all just stood around like that's normal. And I think with content creation, we get this overstimulation of talent that it become the threshold of greatness is always high. And then you come back into your life, you put down the phone and you look and you say, well, I've not got anything, I'm nothing, because I don't compare to this or that. See, this morning I was thinking about this film in malarkey, this content creation. You know, I saw a post from someone talking about creating content, and I mean, it wasn't a good video, it wasn't something I was interested in. I scrolled after 3 or 4 seconds, but it made me think that all this wasn't made for us to be content creators. It wasn't made for us to create content for each other. It was made to share whatever we wanted to share. And I was sat there this morning, and sometimes I wake up and I think, what am I going to film about? And I usually just go whatever is in my gut, whatever's in my mind, or any statements that I've noted down, and I think about them and think, yeah, I'll talk about that. And this morning, I wanted to film, but I didn't have anything to film about. And I sat there and thought, yeah, well, let's think of something up. And I couldn't help but have this feeling of like, but if you've got nothing to film about, why film? I think the content creation has become a thing where you have to put something out there. One, to stay disciplined. 2, to get reach, because you never know, that next video might be the video. You've got to be consistent. The algorithm loves consistency, because we've got to get famous, because we've got to get views, because we've got to be successful in this. Because if we're not successful in this, we can't be rich, we can't get the life that we want. And I think all this filming and posting has become an avenue for necessity rather than freedom. And what got me thinking that was, I've not mentioned it, but I'm a bit off social media. I've restricted myself because it's just too much for me. It's just too much to think about all the time, and I prefer when I've not got it. But this morning I was scrolling because I thought, this Iran war, I thought, well, I want to be updated. I want to see what's going on. Has Trump done what Trump said he was going to do? Turns out he didn't, but I kept scrolling. And the contrast on the feed between such tragedy and such chaos to then people creating content, and it seemed a bit silly for me. It seemed a bit silly and made me not doubt myself, but made me think, Am I adding to that silliness? Shouldn't I be adding to that silliness? And as I scroll, I just see that everyone's posting the same stuff, the same content, the same captions, the same style. It's got B-rolls in it, same topics. And it's just same. There's no uniqueness. That's a mouthful. There's nothing that's separating. You know, when we think about it, do most of us scroll past 20 videos to watch one video? Sure, you might have curated your feed so it's perfect. Well done you. But the majority of videos that come up on my social media, I've gotten no interest in. I don't care about. Doesn't actually add stuff to my life. And one thing with social media and coming off of it is, for me, I find I don't get updated with the news. I stay a bit disconnected with the real world, and I didn't like that. But then when I go on social media, it's not always that I am connected to the world. It's daft shit. It's shit where, you know, people are just creating stuff for the sake of creating stuff. And that disgusts me inside. I mean, you do what you want to do, but for me, it disgusts me if I ever get that way. And that I wake up like this morning thinking, what am I going to film? And I think, why post a video when you've not got anything to say, just for the sake of it? That's one trap I want to avoid. I don't want to be in. I don't want to be a content creator. I don't want to be in that category. I just want to share if there's something on my mind. And I think I might be going down a path of curating things in terms of creating stuff that helps people, deviating from the path, my original path of just documenting. And one of the things that I was doing this morning when I was scrolling is I was scrolling and I knew I wasn't being satisfied with what I was seeing. And then music hit me. Someone singing hit me. And I thought, oh yeah, let's stay here for a minute. And it got me thinking about life in terms of what we want to observe, of what do we actually want, and what was the point of all this social media? What's the point of picking that phone up, and why is it so good? And what are you craving? We're not craving these trends, these informative videos in a way. These nonsense. I mean, obviously each to their own, but we're not craving this facade, this fakeness of people creating content just for creating content. I want to just see the beauty in the world, in a sense. And like I said, I'm scrolling and it's all this political talk. People can't believe what he's doing. He's a hypocrite. He's this, he's that. The world's falling to pieces. And I'm sucked into that because I want to go on my phone and find that out. But the thing that fulfilled me the most was seeing someone who had some talent, who had some skill, who had some natural beauty of singing. I mean, think about that. Think of the shit we can do as a human. We can sing, we can make music. I'm so into cinematography, into films, into people having that talent of showing us beauty through a camera. And that entices me and that interests me because I think, wow, that is amazing. I prefer that feeling over the, wow, the world's going to shit. And I'm I'm mixed between two minds, because you don't want to just shove your head in the sand and ignore what's going on in the world and say my life's great. I still want to open my mind to that side where us as a species has to improve and not fucking kill each other. I still want to be open to that. I don't want to necessarily just close myself off and say, because my life's great, let's ignore all that that's going on. It feels wrong. Naturally, it feels wrong. And for me, it always goes back to this idea of, are you truly doing what you want to do? Truly doing what you want to do. Things that naturally entice you, spark your interest, pop up and you go, fuck yeah, I love that. Gives you that dopamine hit, but it's not just nonsense. It's not just crap. From my scrolling, my conclusion just came to, there's too much crap. There's too much shit. There's too much of people trying to become something. And then I looked inwards and I said, is that what I'm doing? Because if that's what I'm doing, that's embarrassing. That's how I would feel about it. I would feel embarrassed that that's what I'm doing. And I don't think I'm doing that. But I sometimes just have to keep that little reminder, don't do that. Don't fall into that. And I think about, where do I want to take this? And do I have to take it somewhere? Or truly am I happy just literally doing what I'm doing? And I think that happens. That happens to me, and that might happen to other people in life. You feel like you've got to do more. You feel like this can't be enough. But truly, if I was rich, if I had all the time in the world, what would I do? That's what I talk to myself about. That's what I remind myself. And I say, would you be doing this? And I'd say, a little bit, yeah. I wouldn't be doing just this. There are dreams and aspirations and ways I want to do this. You know, I'll say it now. I want to get a bit into cinematography, into showing the beauty of life in a way, and use my words and pair it with that to express an idea or something. And I want to share stories, because I know my voice can only go so far, and my story's only so much. And I think there are many more interesting people in the world than me. I think I'm also a person that doesn't necessarily want it to be all about me. And like I said, there's so much beauty that there are times when I see things and I'm like, fuck, capture that, get that in a bottle, share that. That's what life's about. You know, music's that for me. Films are that for me. You think, God, yeah, you've captured that beautifully. We all see this as just something standard. You know, Britain's Got Talent, X Factor has created it, so if a person's good at singing, that's just normal. You have to be amazing. You've got to have a personality. You've got to be able to write music. You've got to have an interesting background, a story for you to be good enough. Yeah, I think someone who can hit notes with just the vocal cords that they have. So people who have picked up an instrument and have learned how to play it, and just this little thing creates so much joy, so much beauty. And we're all just stood around like that's normal. And I think with content creation, we get this overstimulation of talent that it become the threshold of greatness is always high. And then you come back into your life, you put down the phone and you look and you say, well, I've not got anything, I'm nothing. because I don't compare to this or that. And it's weird. Snapping out and coming back to reality. But yeah, I weren't planning on filming, didn't have anything to talk about, but ironically, talking about not filming. But yeah, peace.